The Art Library is a fun and adventurous form of membership to Elsewhere Studios.
Elsewhere Studios is an artist in residency program here in downtown Paonia, providing space and time for artists.
The mission of the Art Library is to showcase the amazing art and artists that already exist here in our valley. Our artists add to the richness and vitality of our community.
And the Art Library is a fun and innovative way to bring them much needed exposure and monetary support. Why is art important? Art is at the heart of nearly all good communities. Art contributes to the vitality of an area, which in turn attracts talented and interesting people and benefits the local economy. The arts deepen our understanding of the human spirit, as well as extend our capacity to comprehend the lives of others, and allows us to imagine a more just and humane world. Art makes a culture richer and more reflective, so those who engage in the arts help our community to thrive. There is no better indicator of the quality of life and spiritual health of a community than the vibrancy of the arts. A CS Art is just like a CSA, community-supported agriculture, but for art. Members pay a monthly fee and, in return, take home local products, in this case, locally created art. What is the CS Art Library? It's a grassroots gallery system that acts like a library where you can check out local artwork to hang on your wall in your home or business. The CS Art Library is our solution for how to bring artists and art lovers together in a symbiotic relationship, providing artists much-needed exposure, networking, and sales, and providing a diverse collection of locally crafted artwork for the art lover. How it works. As a member of the CS Art Library, you can check out art from the gallery housed at the Blue Sage Center for the Arts. You can keep your art for as long as 4 months, or exchange it for another at any time. How to become a member. The Blue Sage Center houses the main art library gallery. That's where you can sign up for a membership. All artwork is for sale as well as circulation, so when you fall madly in love with a piece, you can buy it. How does membership fees support local art? All profits from the CS Art go to supporting Elsewhere Studios, the Blue Sage, and local artists from our area. So 100% of your support goes to the arts. Memberships are $20 per month. Half of your monthly membership fee is being saved for you to buy a piece of locally created original art. We also offer sliding scale memberships to make memberships accessible to everyone.
My real passion is doing faces and portraits. I like to do art that really kind of hopefully inspires. I really like watercolor, and I really like oil, and Conte pencil and pastel, but I'm also kind of breaking off into some other interesting avenues, and I can show you examples of it in my art studio if you guys want to check it out. So often, humanity is so cracked, but so beautiful, and I just feel like this medium sort of captures that a little bit. I'm Seth Weber, and I guess I do kind of whatever art finds me, because I really am like a 5-year-old in here. So I like to play with crayons and finger paint. It's my favorite.
My name's Devin Alves, and I do a lot of metal art with random pieces of metal I find. It may look like junk, but it has potential. I do that. This is Tiago. He's eating chips.
Hey. And what inspires your art?
That's the hard one. I think a lot of rust and time. That's why I love the metal, because things happen over time to it, like the rust and different splotches and stuff, and that always inspires me. I do a lot of stenciling. My family does art. Like all my relatives, as far as back as I've ever known, has done art. So I think I didn't have an option. I just love things like this, because sometimes something like this will appear, actually look like a face to me or something, and that becomes the painting from like what the metal already does, or what the metal kind of tells you.
Cami Bear, and my medium is watercolor. And I do it because I feel like life has stories, and some of them I've had moments in my life that lasted a second or two that have created years of peace for me. I just try and kind of grab those moments and get them on paper, share them with others. I painted that when I was pregnant with Vela, and I was trying to imagine how she felt inside of me. That's me, about age 13. And I spent a semester in Austria. In real stormy weather, I'd go to the local church, and I would just spend an hour or two in there. And I was thinking about my life and whenever, what would feel like Vela felt. And that's what I ended up painting, because I felt so safe and sacred, and it was just, it was just a blessed place. On a personal level, this is my favorite painting.
Cedar cachette. Right now I'm just doing watercolor, acrylic, and then those leaf hides. So this is a really nice little field kit. It's compact, but it works. Can't do too much drawing and sketching on a horse because sometimes I don't have time. I started when I was really little. I always had drawn and painted on a horse and started taking classes at the museum when I was little, because I remember being so little that someone had to carry me around because I couldn't keep up with the bigger kids. So I'd piggyback on top of somebody.
My name? Tom
Yeah.
Gifford. Colors. I like colors. I'm a colors guy. Even when I'm a house painter, I like to put different colors. So that's what inspires it. It's called alley art, and it's down the alley. The maroon stripe is our street, Hitchcock Drive, and then across the street is Larry Collins' house, where we used to throw butterflies into spider webs to see what they would do. When I was in the 5th grade, I used to like to draw cars, and my favorite colors together were red and chartreuse. And 56 DeSotos are kind of long, and they had a little bit of fins, not as big as they did in 59, but I used to draw those, and so that was my favorite. The black sort of represents tires, but sort of. There.
My name is Mark Wilson. My wife Margot and I moved here in September of 11, so it's exactly, it's a year and some months. Well, this is one of the techniques that I use. This is, a friend of mine taught me this. He calls it the gouache wash-off technique. And it's kind of like batik in that I'm staining the paper with the gouache. I have a love affair with realism, but I wouldn't call myself a realist, really. I usually need to be inspired by something that I can see, but I don't render it realistically necessarily. I'm much looser now. And part of it is what happened to Monet is happening to me, where when you lose your eyesight, you got to get looser. You can't stay as tight because you can't see the dang thing anymore. We lived in Spain for twice in our marriage, and in Spain the figures got into the finished landscapes in a way where, and it's always been fascinating to me, that the idea of having two things exist in space at the same time.
What's your name?
Naropa.
And what kind of art do you do?
Wow. Place objects next to one another and see if they relate. I paint, I make things, I assemble things, I think, I work in film, video, I write, reading, that's an art. So it hangs askance, so the horizon's straight, but the frame is at an angle. I like those nuances where the basic presumptions are questioned. I try to listen to the things that move me. So it's not so much it's endless. It's a walk down the street. It's a conversation. It's a book. It's it's often the most unexpected places that I find inspiration. And I really got interested in the psychology and how these people interact with each other. These people being my relatives. This one's great. Anchor on for years.
My name is Sabina Hayton. I am a visual artist. I like painting and drawing, and I also enjoy pottery and wrapping jewelry and sewing. I'm working on getting ready for a fashion show. I took apart a slip and added the under material, and then I did the back completely out of ties and tapestry, and this part here is all hand sewn. This was a portrait of one of the girls in my classes in Santa Fe, and her name is Aspen. I've lived here since I was about 1. I lived on a raspberry farm until then in Montrose, which is now the beef jerky place. And then I've lived here my entire life other than going to school in New Mexico for 3 years.
My name's Willow. I'm a painter mostly, but Elsewhere itself has become a canvas for the last 6 years. I've been here helping remodel with numerous other people and lots of community members.
What inspires you to create the art that you do?
A lot of different things. I really enjoy telling stories through artwork. Usually every piece has a story, and it's often a story about that illumination in ourselves where we have the aha, where something shifts or there's some kind of understanding that comes, like bringing a candle into our dark spaces and watching it change. It's usually first thing in the morning, in between waking and sleeping state, where I come up with my images that I need to paint and also kind of find clarity in my life in general. And this is Blue. He's my little muse.
So what do you think? Do you think you guys' right brains work? I think so. Okay, so remember, I want to see some drawings in those books. Do I want to see left brain or right brain drawings?
Right brain.
Right brain drawings, okay. I truly believe everyone can draw if they learn that. Mary Smith.
And what kind of artwork do you do?
I just kind of mess around with stuff. They're pastels that I've been playing with. I took a photograph to work at home with, but that was a foggy day between here and California. And the Indian, I did a drawing down at the, when they have the
powwow.
Powwow. Yeah, I did a drawing of the chief there, but then I changed him. He doesn't look like that. So I do watercolor too, but pastels are really fun. They're really fun on that suede board because it just, it takes color so beautifully. So that's what I've been playing with lately.